there is a hearing on Capitol Hill surrounding TikTok, which has turned into a major imbroglio. Coming back from Italy, I'll break it out there over what should we do about TikTok. Now, I want to give, Buck, for the audience out there, a quick sort of synopsis of what TikTok is, because I am quite confident that this audience is not very active on TikTok. I'm just gonna make a wild guess there, but chances are your kids or grandkids are on TikTok, and they probably are fairly active there because it is wildly popular with young kids. If your kids or grandkids are ages, let's say 12 to 17, there's almost 100% chance that they are active on TikTok. I think that's probably the foundational power base of TikTok in general, Buck.
TikTok right now is where Facebook was in this country over a decade ago when a huge number of people were on it a lot, and on it for a long period of time. There are 150 million Americans who at least sometimes use TikTok, but if you look at the data, and it's particularly popular among young people, it's kind of taken Snapchat's place. Snapchat was, I'm too young and cool for Facebook, but now TikTok is, I'm too young and cool for Snapchat. But it has taken over. It is the zeitgeist of social media right now is TikTok with 150 million U.S. users, and people sit on it, Clay, for hours.
And I will tell you that your kids or grandkids use TikTok like you might use Google. In other words, they just go into TikTok and type in a query, a question, and then they'll just run with whatever the feedback they get there is. Buck, I don't know how active you are on TikTok. We have got Outkick does a TikTok account that I'm amazed sometimes we have videos that we put up. Some of them do 8 or 10 million views. I mean, it is unbelievable when one of these things catches fire how massive the influence can be. The difference, I would say, for those of you out there who might say, I'm never going to be on TikTok. Some of you are probably like, I'm fed up with Facebook. I don't trust Twitter. I'm not going to get on Instagram. I understand all that. The difference is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all American-owned companies. TikTok is a Chinese company, and the Chinese Communist Party has, in many ways, control over every Chinese company to some degree, certainly to a degree that doesn't exist in the United States at all. So the question that is out there and being debated today is, I think, an important one. What should happen with TikTok? You'll remember Trump tried to force TikTok's American assets to be sold to, I believe it was Oracle, and was it Facebook or Oracle and somebody else that was going to buy the TikTok American assets? And then that thing fell apart over court rulings. Now the Biden administration is actually taking essentially the same position as Trump and demanding that this not be a Chinese-owned company because there are fears that China is using TikTok to spy on American users. So that is the backdrop. That is what is going on here right now. Buck, what is your perspective on what should happen with TikTok based on your knowledge of the app and where it lies in the larger social media universe?
I'm a little bit of a dissident on this issue. I think that there's one congressman out of New York,
Jamal Bowman,
who thinks that there's a bit of anti-China hysteria around this. I actually think he's right. And this is something, and I understand I'm out there on my own on this one, but first of all, let me just make my case before people start.
Buck Sexton, left-wing New York congressman. Yeah.
First of all, if you're worried about brainwashing of your children and also about politicization and weaponization, we haven't even touched. Okay, we've seen what's going on with Twitter. Thank you, Elon. We haven't even touched Facebook. We haven't even touched Instagram. We haven't touched YouTube. We haven't touched Google. They are far more powerful, far more influential, and as we saw during COVID and the 2020 election and other areas you look into, a much bigger threat to our freedom of speech, our freedom of, democracy, whatever. I mean, those are, for me, such a bigger challenge than the idea that China is going to be programming your kids over the next few decades to be anti-American and weak. want to say, well, what do you think YouTube is doing, by the way? I mean, so that's my first, line of
So your first line, and I think I agree as a parent, is that social media is troubling to you. TikTok is not distinguishingly troubling to you relative to the overall social media environment.
Yeah, I think that TikTok is not. And look, I'm not somebody who's actively posting on TikTok. There is a TikTok account that picks up some of my stuff, but I'm not using it that way. But I do go on there. They make a lot of great little videos about how to sear the perfect ribeye and other things. It is very addictive, I will tell you. Be prepared to lose a lot of time using it. But okay, point one, other social media platforms, and anybody who knows anything about Google and YouTube would agree with me. They're infinitely more powerful right now and more influential in online conversation, I think, than TikTok is. TikTok is powerful. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say infinitely, but substantially more powerful. The second point is, okay, so now we have the government saying we don't like the content on a platform, so we're going to ban it. And I understand it's really easy when you think of it as the Chinese Communist Party. They are our opponents on the world stage, to be sure. And that's real, and I feel that, and we talk about that here all the time. But does anyone think the Democrats, their mindset is only on this one should we ban the platform that we don't like? Look what they did to Parler with Amazon Web Services, knocking them down. Democrats will always try to find a way to destroy platforms they don't like. And when we go along with them, which a lot of Republicans, again, I'm on my own on this, when we go along with them, you're encouraging that. It's interesting. We banned Russia Today in this country as the Russian cable news propaganda channel. And I kind of felt the same way. I was like, CNN is far more destructive to America than Russia Today. But I understand foreign ownership. Third point, and maybe the best point here in my defense on this issue, the plan that they have, now I'm not privy to the negotiations and the day-to-day of it, is called Project Texas, and they're going to have all data generated by Americans on servers run and operated and owned by Oracle, an American company, and this would be in Austin, Texas, and only Oracle and the U.S.-based employees of TikTok would have access to any of those servers, any of those data, and would be subject to audits and, look at where the backup recording is going and everything else. Now, you could say those TikTok employees, well, they're just going to try to find ways to backdoor. TikTok, other social media companies have employees that also could very easily backdoor information to China in that circumstance, right? If you're going to say that U.S.-based infrastructure and architecture is subject to Chinese espionage, I'm going to say absolutely, but there are plenty of Chinese nationals that are high-tech universities and everything else. So I don't see why, I guess I don't see why TikTok is so much worse in that context than some of these other social media companies. And I will say this, it's like me, I think Glenn Greenwald, there's like 5 of us who take this position right now, but I'm one of them.
Yeah, so I actually am on the flip side here. And I appreciate and understand all of those arguments. I think they're solid. Here's what I would say. China doesn't allow Twitter. They don't allow Facebook. They don't allow Google. I don't think they allow Instagram. They don't allow American companies access to the Chinese marketplace to compete in their country. And so my position is just not even focused on TikTok in general. If China won't open its market for fair competition in social media, again, YouTube not allowed, Twitter not allowed, I don't think Google hardly is allowed, Facebook certainly isn't. All these companies are not allowed that are big social media behemoths in the United States. My thing is, if they won't let us have access to their citizens, and they're demanding that they continue to have access to our citizens, we're playing on an unequal playing field from a competitive basis. And so I would demand that TikTok either pull out of the United States or, probably more likely, sell its United States assets in some way in the United States. That would be my position if I were right now on Capitol Hill.
I think that's I think that's a strong argument, but we all end up in this same place. They're talking about a ban, to be clear to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think a ban is a bad idea.
I don't think a ban would work, Buck. Kids are smarter than all of us are when it comes to getting access to tech. I don't understand how we would suddenly stop people from using TikTok.
I think a reasonable national security and U.S. interest compromise is if all the assets are based here It's U.S. personnel, American citizens, Oracle, the company that's backing up all the servers and data, not just for you and for your companies, but, for the U.S. government in a lot of capacity, right? I mean, Oracle, it could be Amazon Web Services, doesn't matter.
Larry Ellison's a pretty big Republican for people out there who runs Oracle effectively.
Right. So I'm not disagreeing with the people that say that TikTok, something has to change about it. I just think this notion of a ban sets a precedent that I don't like, is heavy-handed in a way that's unhelpful. And I think that also, there are some areas where we're going to want to say, yeah, fine, the trade practices issue, certainly something we should address, but also, if we're going to be shutting out external media from the rest of the world, then we're definitely going to be, as a country, in a position where we start telling other places, hey, you guys are so closed off and you're not allowing, the global internet to be truly free. And they're going to say, you mean you guys are the ones who banned TikTok, right? So I don't like that precedent either over the long term. But I understand why there are concerns about it now. I also just think, I just think Google and YouTube are the big. This is the big dragon that nobody has stepped up to understand. They are programming your kids right now. They are programming them with anti-Americanism, and they are American.